Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. We are here talking about the quarter-finals of the World Cup 2022 in Qatar, and we're also going to be delving into the semi-finals and give our score predictions. Talk MU is with me tonight. We're going to be delving all into everything that happened in the quarter-finals, but here comes the intro. Yes, people, welcome back. Talk MU, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us once again.
Yeah, all good, my friend. Thanks for inviting me on. Much appreciated.
Cheers for coming by. And I'm putting up the banner, mate, the Christmas one, because where I am right now, it's snowy. It's starting to feel a little bit like Christmas. And I did forget to start using this at the start of December. So I'm trying to get it in there, mate.
No, listen, it's nice. It's lovely. It's nice and Christmassy. Nice colours. And yeah, we've had a little, very light sprinkling, like a little bit of icing sugar dusting, but it soon melted and disappeared. But I am expecting some heavier stuff, maybe, later in the week, possibly.
Hopefully. I hope it does stick till Christmas because it just really does glow up the streets at night. I really do enjoy it. We are going to be discussing, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you are tuning in right now. And thank you so much. Get in the comments. Join the discussion with us if you can. And yes, quarterfinals review. And we are starting off with the shock. Brazil dumped out by Croatia on penalties. Talk, I know you watched the game. I watched the game too. I thought Brazil should have finished it in extra time when they scored that goal. Neymar, beautiful goal it was. But Croatia just never gave up throughout the whole game. They kept pressing and pressing. And for some reason, from what I saw, Brazil just sort of were trying to waste time and not really attacking. They should have really killed off that game. They gave Croatia time to be able to come back into the game, and they got a deflection. It was a really important goal, of course, because then they won it on penalties. What did you make of the game, mate? Was you shocked to see Brazil, who were obviously favourites to win the tournament this year, getting knocked out in the quarters?
They were a team that I kind of fancied just because of the squad on paper, etc. But it was. I said it earlier on. It's certain games. I can't remember what game it was where it was quite clear to me that they were running out of ideas. And I think when you run out of ideas and you've exhausted what you've done on the training pitch and what you've been told by the coaching staff, etc., you then, as a team, you start to sort of think, well, crikey, if we keep trying to knock on this door that nobody's answering, we're not aware of what's going on behind us, what could happen behind us, So I think that they just sort of got the mindset of, listen, we've got enough here to see this out. Like you say, time wasting, everything else. But then it's always hard to defend a lead. It's harder to defend a lead in that kind of situation than it is to score a goal, I believe. So for Croatia, it must have been, they must have been quite pleased actually that they were, getting the opportunities that they were getting.
Well, yeah, it was the last minute of extra time, and Brazil, I think it just deflated them. And the way that Croatia took their penalties was magnificent, might I add. And Brazil were just flat. And I think another major point about the penalty shootout that I think was a mistake was having Neymar be the last person to take a penalty, because he never even got to take one, mate. You should captain. You should be taking the first penalty like Virgil van Dijk did. Very brave of him. We will get onto that. Like Modric did as well, captains take the penalty. And he didn't, did he? So I just, it does amaze me. I think he should have took at least the first or second penalty.
Yeah, but again, in the same breath, you think, okay, listen, if it comes down to, we've got to score the penalty at the end to win it, who do you want? It's because at the start you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know if you're going to have a lead. You don't know if you're going to be even. You're behind, whatever. So I think it's just a gamble, and it's a 50-50. Whether you start him near the bottom or at the top of the order. So you know what, it is what it is, and I just think Brazil, for all the talent that they had on the pitch, they were just a little bit lacking, in the way they kind of managed the game. Also, I don't think they managed the game particularly well. Time wasting.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of England at the moment. They've got a team in the future that's going to be really good. That's what all I can see from the future of Brazil is going to be even better next time round. So in America, Canada, and Mexico, I think that will be their year. I think it's just a little bit early, and I know Neymar was upset obviously because of his age and whether he'll be able to make it to the next time. Not too sure. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. It's unfortunate for Brazil. I know Marley would have probably been in tears. I did try to console him. I hope he is okay.
Well, can I ask you this before you move on from that? Do you think Tite will be the manager at the next World Cup?
That's a tough question, mate.
You're talking about a young squad. Do you think they need a more, shall we say, current manager who's with it right now, who understands
possibly
European? You've got to understand European football, I believe. If you're going to go through far in the World Cup, as of the Europeans, got to understand South American and African football. You've got to have some knowledge of what's going on, what they're trying to do, and how they do what they do. If you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I can understand your point on that. I just think it's sort of scarce, and I'm not sure whether Brazil are too happy with having complete foreign managers. Yes, maybe someone like Jose Mourinho, who's a serial winner, might be good for them. He obviously speaks the lingo. There's a great connection between Portugal and Brazil. But yeah, I get what you're saying, but maybe give him a bit more time. It's much different from the situation with Southgate. I think Southgate's been there a long time. So looking at Tito, I think maybe give him time. I don't think it was his fault. And I think the bond that he had with the younger players, I think can serve on greater next time round. So maybe keep with him, but see how they go in those years. Don't give him a contract that lasts up till after the next World Cup like we did with Southgate. But I wanted to move on, mate, because we're getting some comments in. We might be able to answer some questions from all our fellow DJs. Football versus Cancer's got the popcorn out. I've actually got some popcorn over there. Nice. The sweet kind. Yeah, we've got to love that. Bobby K, Virtual Spud, thank you so much. Matt Bassett's in the house. Evening, Matt and Talk.
Big up, Matthew.
He says, big up both. Miss Melina's in the house. Great vlog the other day, Melina. Really, really awesome. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, big up, Mel.
Evening to you, Miss Melina. Anthony Herbert. Big up, Matt and Talk. Good game, Brazil v Croatia. Both teams with different strengths. Brazil in attack and Croatia in defence, and more experienced players. My prediction was right in this game.
See, that's the point I suppose I was making in a roundabout way is, when you've got that sort of young, vibrant attack against a very, very experienced defence, you've got to have many questions to ask of them. If you don't, they'll quickly work you out and go, you know what, no, we've got you covered, you ain't getting through. So then it's a case of then Croatia trying to find the right moment to actually commit to going forward and trying to get a goal. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil, to me, they did defend well. I think Thiago Silva had a terrific game. It's just unfortunate at the end with that deflection. Matt Bassett says, hi, Miss Melina. Hope you're well. Anthony says, hi, Miss Melina. Hi, Matt Bassett. I think Brazil underestimated just how resilient the Croatian team is and how good they are. They've got a solid defence and a world-class midfield in Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic. Agree with that talk?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it so many times in football. The midfield battle. If you've got the better of the midfield, so everything's created, everything's controlled, the tempo is set. You can cause teams so many. I mean, just look at. Well, I know we're going to get onto it, but a good example is Griezmann for France the other night. So yeah, I do agree with that. I do.
Good comment, Matt, mate. Hey, Anthony. I'm good, Matthew. Hope you're well. Mama says, "Hey, all big up, Mama Flossie."
Yo, Flossie. I think that's Flossie from Twitter. Flossie from Twitter. Big up, Flossie.
Yeah, I see Flossie. I said to her hello a few times in the TalkSport comments. Sometimes in the morning, like Flossie, Mama Flossie, I know you. Big up to Mama. All good here, thanks, Anthony. I want in Brozovic at Man United in January. It's a good player, mate. Yeah, we should look at some of these players because they look like team players, Hi, Matt. Big up, Miss Melina. Hi, Anthony, bro. Hope you're well. Actually, she is. Big up to Matt Bassett. Big up to Miss Melina both ways. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you are tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. And we're moving on. We're moving on to Argentina. And they won the battle over the Netherlands. And it was a battle, wasn't it? It was quite gruesome. There were so many yellow cards going around, mate. Ref had a field day with that, didn't he? Seriously, I can't remember how many. It was in the double figures. What did you make of this game, mate? Again, on penalties, Argentina victorious. And I think we said it before stream, didn't we? That with them probably the favourites now, Argentina, to lift this. It's just something about it, the feel. I do hope, obviously, Morocco and Croatia as a final. Yes, that would be amazing. An underdog story, a new winner. But it just feels right for Argentina this year. What do you think, mate? What do you think about this result as well? The Netherlands, I mean, didn't really put out much of a performance, did they, really? They were quite lucky. I mean, the free kick, might I add, in the dying minutes, in the 10th minute of stoppage time. It's a very ballsy move, and it paid off. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's the move. That's the free kick of the tournament so far for me. It was absolutely top draw. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I remember at the time we was watching. We was doing a watch along, weren't we?
No,
anyway,
we didn't.
Right. Okay. Well, I think I did a watch along, but I remember watching it and I was thinking, I was saying to myself, "Oh, just don't take a shot. Do something. Take it short, or like just lift it over." But I did not expect them to do that because obviously there was no draft excluder, was there? So they worked that exceptionally well. But I just think overall, the Netherlands were they were very very disappointing. It kind of not as exciting as I was expecting them. But I did say to you, I think actually before the game that maybe Netherlands what they will do is they'll try and pass their way out. They'll try and pass their way to the goal. They'll try and because it's total football. It's blah blah blah. And I think if they'd have done a little bit more of what they did at the end in the beginning. They may have well got through because obviously Argentina were finding it quite a challenge, to be fair, to compete with the height, obviously, of the Dutch players. But as regards to Argentina, what you're going to expect with Argentina, top quality players, dogged, will run until they can't physically run any longer. They will fight hard, really hard. Very proud nation when it comes to football, etc. So I think, for me, I think they're going to be the team to beat. And obviously, we are talking about Messi here as well. I mean, you can't underestimate the power of Messi. He's quite a remarkable player, as we all know. There's nothing I can say about Messi that people don't already know, but it's the impact he has on the whole team and the impact he has on the opposition. The insecurity it generates, the uncertainty it generates. If you're in the opposition's team, you see Lionel Messi just strolling about, and you're like, yeah, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do here? What are we supposed to do with him? You can't take your eyes off him. And I think that's another reason as why, I think it was Pep Guardiola who said, somebody made a comment about Messi's strolling, shall we say. And he says, yeah, but Messi's, he sees the whole game. He reads it like a book.
That's why he's in slow motion and strolling and taking a look around. I mean, that pass the other night, for example, he wasn't even looking. But at one moment, did he look? He just knew. He just knew that this player was running in,
Yeah.
I just think that's
Yeah.
remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's got a very special footballing brain. Obviously, he's got special footballing legs and feet, but to go with it, he's got a very special footballing brain as well. And he's always ahead of everybody. He's always he can see things before anybody else. And regardless of his age, he is the most dangerous player still currently in the World Cup. Probably still in the world, if I'm honest. Far more dangerous than Ronaldo, in my opinion. We know what to expect from Ronaldo.
Yeah, it does remind me of Argentina in '86 and the way that they didn't necessarily have the best team, but they had a player like Maradona to sort of get the best out of them and drag them through and win it. And it just feels very similar this time around. They have Messi. The difference is, of course, Maradona was at his peak, in his mid to near late 30s, whereas Messi's obviously in his mid 30s, but he's doing exactly that same role. He's getting the best of all the players around him. He's dictating the play. He's seeing the play. He can see what's happening. He's conducting the whole thing like it's an orchestra. I think it's beautiful.
The thing is, as well, is that you've got, as a player, you're looking at Lionel Messi with the confidence like dripping off him. We all know the confidence that Messi's got, and it was the same for Maradona. You as a player are looking at him and thinking, "Oh, crikey, I can't get up to that level." So when you see a Lionel Messi or a Maradona steaming at you with the ball, glued to their foot, crikey, you back, the back end of you drops out, and then you're just like in panic. You're in panic mode, and you daren't get too close because you get too close and that's it. Bam, they're over. And especially if they're in the box, it's good night Vienna because it's going to be a penalty or a dangerous free kick or whatever. So there is that, and that's what I was referring to earlier with Messi. He is a very special player, and now when it comes down to do I want to win it, of course I would much. If I had the choice now, I could pick to win it. It was going to be Morocco all day long.
Yeah. Well, talking of good night Vienna, Van Gaal, do you think he should be maybe getting his role?
Listen, I think what. I wish him all the best, Louis. He was at Manchester United, and we've seen some good times under him. We've seen sometimes some okay football, and on a whole, it was just too boring, and we was all sort of wanting a little bit more excitement from our game. But I wish him all the best. He's a real character. I hope health-wise he is all clear and he's in the clear. And I think I don't think he's got much to prove now in the game. To be fair, he's proved. He's one of the great managers that we've seen over the last,
It's just good to see a man go through, or anybody, anybody go through that and still be able to pick up a smile, and enjoy life. You can see he was enjoying it no matter what really happened, and that is good to see from a human perspective, taken away from the whole sports and money and everything. It's just nice to see someone healthy and happy. Comment here from Anthony. Good game, Argentina versus the Netherlands. As we know, this is Messi's last World Cup. He would want to win it again for Argentina and France final. Want to win it again for an Argentina and France final. Okay, yeah. He hasn't won it before, though. Did you say win it again?
Oh, win it again.
Yes, got you. My mistake. I'm good, Miss Molina, says Anthony. Yeah, I hope you're okay, mate. I know you had COVID. I've had like flu, COVID, chest infection, all sorts in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's been horrible. I think Morocco, Argentina final and Morocco to win it. Thoughts, talk?
You know what? I hope that's what we see. And for Morocco to win it, because wow, when Morocco went through, I was on the edge of my seat. Honestly, I really was. I was on the edge of my seat all the way through it, and it was just absolutely top draw watching them do what they do. Because I know there's going to be a lot of purists out there who say, oh, it's not really football, sitting back. But listen, Morocco, they're not just about defending it. They're a really great team. They're a really good team. I think they've got a fantastic manager. They've got some quality players, and when they want to work the ball out, they can do. They can play some, and the movement of the players, taking advantage of spacing behind, etc. It's not easy to do against top, opponents, whether they're from Europe, South America, Africa, or wherever. So, I I applaud Morocco, and I would love to see them get to the final. That would be something quite special, to be fair. I mean, we've already seen history be made, haven't we, because of their first African team to get to the semis. So, to take it one step further and actually get to a final, and who knows from there, it's a game of football when it gets to the final. All right, I know you've got your advantages because of players and everything else, but as we know, referees, officials, VAR, all kinds of madness, anything can happen. So there was always going to be a kind of leaning because of, like I say, players and history and stuff. But with those other modern day ingredients thrown in there, you just don't know what's going to come out of the other end. So, yeah, let's see what happens. It's going to be very intriguing, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree, mate. Mama Flossie says that would be fantastic, Miss Melina. Yes, it would be indeed. Hi, Mama Flossie. Hope you're well. I'm good, thanks, says Mama Flossie. And Anthony says, yeah, all fine now, fighting fit. Can't keep a good man down. Thanks for asking, Miss Melina. Big up, Anthony. Okay, we're going to move on to the next game, yes. We just talked a little bit about Morocco there. So Portugal stunned by history makers Morocco. And, of course, as you said, Talk, the first African nation to get through to a semi-final. And, my goodness, the fans all around the world, might I say, were so happy to see this happen, mate. Honestly, it was so amazing. 1-0 as well, not letting in a goal. And you just thought Portugal had nothing about them. And even when they put Ronaldo on, just nothing, no energy, nothing at all. You just knew it was going to be Morocco's day, especially with that header. I don't know what the keeper was doing for Portugal, but I think he could have done a bit better there. But what did you make of the game, mate?
Yeah, I think it shows that maybe, football from other continents is actually catching up quicker than we think it is. Because, like I say, referring to Brazil earlier, with their lack of inventiveness, the same can be said for Portugal. They knew what they were going to come up against in Morocco. It's going to be a very difficult team to break down, to get in behind, etc. So you have to be clever. You have to raise your game. You have to bring all your experience to bear, in order to work the game into your advantage. But wow, Portugal, they were left wanting big time, and Morocco again. The way that goal they scored was a cracking goal, fantastic. The way they earned the corner, and then the way it came in and bam, that header. It's absolutely top draw. And then yes, they say they brought Ronaldo on, and that was like make or break for Ronaldo. And then we've seen the images at the end. I remember you saying to me, "Is he crying or is he laughing?" And I was like, "Oh no, he's definitely crying." But I've seen a clip since then on Twitter, and it looks like he was actually laughing. So
I've never seen anyone cry with a grin like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know,
it's an odd one.
You don't cry like that. You're scrunched up usually. You're like, and he was like,
yeah.
Unless
it was a strange thing. It was a strange thing to see, and like I say, I seen it on Twitter today, and I remember I was watching it over and over, and I'm thinking, wow, that is so bizarre.
Kind of reminded me of Matt Hancock. Remember him? Like,
but yeah. So again, and we've got to ask questions of Santos. Has he stepped down now? Has he been sacked?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure he should be either. It's got a great squad coming through. Honestly, the Portugal team is going to look so much better, and it's no disrespect to Ronaldo because he has graced the game. He's one of the best players we've ever seen. But it is time to move on. It's time to focus on having a team instead of just trying to scrape games with Ronaldo because of what he used to be able to do.
If you look at the performance earlier before that against Austria, what am I about? Switzerland. It was we were watching. We did a watch along for that, and we were saying, it's like wow, it looks like Portugal are really turned up here, and that was without Ronaldo, and then they started again without him. So you're kind of thinking, okay, they're gonna play in front of Morocco here. They're gonna pull them out a little bit, and then it's going to be a very clever little piece of football, great movement, one clever pass, and then bang. But no, they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it, and like I say, great all credit to Morocco. But I think Portugal, I don't know. I think just because of the fact that it is a young squad now and again, The same for Tite. It's the same for Santos. They're quite. I don't want to sound ageist, but they are getting on a bit. Maybe they've got to kind of maybe look to a more modern thinking manager. Going forward, these countries, because you've got other nations who are going to do that and who are already doing that. I mean, look at Morocco. Take Morocco as the example. How old is their manager? How old is the manager of Saudi Arabia, who also did fantastic in this tournament? I felt sorry for Qatar, if I'm honest, because they tried so hard to try and get a game and get a win. They didn't even score a goal in the end, did they? So it was harsh for them. But again, that's a learning curve, and that's a.
Who I felt really harsh for Iran. I won't necessarily go deep into that because that's a very political chat. But what the whole team had to go through.
Oh, of course.
If you actually read what happened, and even with Carlos Queiroz, and he was pretty much dictated about what players he can and cannot play, and it's not very nice to delve into unless I can really give you that information. You should go and look it up though, because they had to go through a lot just to be able to be there pretty much.
It's a learning. This is a learning curve, Matt, for countries like I was just saying, Qatar, like you mentioned, Iran. They've got to go away from this now, and especially those two nations in particular, because this is the first time the World Cup has been held in the Middle East. I think it's been a fabulous World Cup. I really do. I think it's been absolutely top draw, just as good as any that I can remember. So, this is now a moment for them to sort of reflect and go, hold on a minute. You know what? We again, Iran did pretty well, to be fair. They did pretty well. Morocco, like I say, Qatar, again, it's a small country. They're obviously never going to have the kind of numbers needed to be able to pick players, to go and perform for them. So that's going to take heavy investment. In terms of, the physical side of the game, the mental side of the game, coaches, blah, 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 blah. That's going to take a long time. But, if going forward, if we are to see another World Cup, which I think we will, in the Middle East, and I hope we do, regardless of all the ifs, why, fors, and maybes that we've had conversations about in the past about where World Cups should be and where they shouldn't be, I still believe that there should be another World Cup in the Middle East. And again, this is about starting points. You've got to be fair. You've got to be all inclusive, but you've got to also at the same time, like we said many times, respect what's going on where the World Cup is and be sensible. So we will see what happens going on in the future. I mean, it may be another 20, 30 years if we see another one in the Middle East, but it's what happens in the time from now at the end of this tournament to the next time when it comes around, because there will be no doubt some changes made, and maybe social changes as well. We don't know. We can only wait and see on that front.
Only hope for that. We can, I completely agree with you, mate. And I think it will be again one at some point in the future. It definitely will. It has been a good World Cup indeed. Next topic. Actually, sorry, no. What I was meant to do was just read out this. Sorry, the Dugout Football Channel says he hasn't stepped down yet, but he is rumored to be.
Let's talk about Santos. Yeah, big up, Doug.
Big up, Doug, mate.
I just think, like I say, I think maybe he might feel himself. It's time to sort of relinquish this squad to a younger manager. And not like I say, I'm not being ageist, not in the slightest. It's just about. It's hard to get out of habits as you get older that you've carried with you for a long time that seem to pay dividend. So as you get older, it's harder to try and adapt and go. You know what? Okay, I'm going to totally change what I do and go down this route. It's like no, I'm comfortable because I've been so comfortable for so long. So I fully expect that to end in Santos resigning, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I do hope he does stay though. I do. Next one, reigning champions, France hold off a powerful England performance. And yes, of course, this is very dear to our very hearts talk. I was watching it in a pub and yes, we went down 1-0 and I thought, here we go. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. We pulled it back with a penalty and then they got another goal back with Giroud. And then we had another penalty to take it into extra time. Harry Kane skies it, and mate, yeah, a terrible performance from the referee as well, wasn't it, mate? What did you make of the game and your thoughts?
Listen, firstly, obviously that's the first protocol is the referee. I thought the referee was an absolute disgrace. It was a joke, absolute joke. And I said earlier before we come on stream, why whoever made that decision to put a Brazilian referee in charge of 2 European teams, when we know from watching the Copa America final or the Copa Libertadores, whatever it was, we know how harsh them games are in South America. So, it's like what he saw there to him was like, well, what are you doing now? Get up, it's not a foul. It's like, yeah, but hold on a minute. You're not understanding the finesse here that is involved in the European game. It's a bit different to the South American game. Well, quite a lot different to the South American game. The refereeing standards, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, and what we deem as unacceptable. You can't be doing that. And again, yeah, look, you take away the decisions from the game. Were they good enough in the end? You probably have to say no, they weren't, because we were brave enough as a team. Probably not. But I'm not going to take anything away from Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane, in his own mind, I always say this whenever it comes to a moment like that, he's got to take a penalty. He decided what he was going to do in his mind was the right thing to do in that moment. So you can't argue against that. Nobody can argue against that to me, because I will just shoot you down. You can't do that, because he believed that was the right thing to do, drawing upon all his experiences, all his skill, all his knowledge of the goalkeeper who he was up against, etc., etc. So he believed that was the best opportunity for him to get a goal. Unfortunately, on that occasion, it didn't work. So what? Big deal. No problem. I actually tweeted as soon as the game finished, not to Harry Kane, but I just said, well done, Harry. We go again in the next one. You've done us proud, like the whole team has. We'll dust ourselves off and we'll go again. It's not our time yet. Simple as that. I'm not one of these who's just going to start whinging and bawling and start, giving it the old Harry Kane this or whoever this and that and the other. No, it's nonsense. Gareth Southgate is a different conversation, which obviously we won't have now. But yeah, I just think, listen, France were very clever. The way we all know from watching it what was being said about Griezmann. It's quite clear and obvious what he was doing. He played his position to a T. His instructions were quality from Deschamps. But it was also Mbappe. Just because of the threat of Mbappe, we had to put men on him. So when he was terrorising down the wing like he was, he's very clever. He knew they had to get ahead of him. As a player, you get ahead of Mbappe, you think, okay, I've got the edge on you here because I'm ahead of you. You can't get past me, right? I've got like a yard on you or whatever. But then it was so, that must have been the greatest thing for Deschamps was, listen, we know what England are going to do, right, Killian? They're going to get 2 on you, and you know what you're going to do. You're just going to slow it down. There's going to be somebody coming right up alongside you in that midfield, and you're just going to go square ball, and that's it. Them 2 players or them 3 players in that vicinity are taken out of the game, and they're going to be scurrying back, by which time it's going to be too late because the ball would have been played anyway into the danger area. But for a team like France, you put the ball into any dangerous area, whether it be in front of the 6-yard box or within the half spaces, close to the edge of the box where the dangerous crosses can come from, then you know what? You're in trouble. So I do believe, though, England had their opportunities. I think we could have been a little bit braver with our forward play. But again, that's a conversation to have around the tactics that the manager set out in the game, but not right now.
Well, yeah, also, the fact that we were pretty much relying on these penalties to make it through to extra time, and we didn't really score in open play. Do you think that was a worry?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If we would have been braver, I don't want to say players' names because it'll seem like I'm having a go at them when I'm not. But and again, it's about what they're being asked to do by the manager. But I love Saka to bits, I really do, and I said that from the Euros. The kid was so brave. And then the abuse that he got along with Rashford and Sancho and others was diabolical and repugnant. So I've had a soft spot for him since then as well, because it's I don't know, you just want to pick him up and say, come here, mate. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. He's only a little kid, to me anyway. But it could have been. There was times when he would receive the ball in that wide position, Space was there for him to exploit, and he wouldn't do it. And every time I go, Bakayo, go on, just go down there. When you get that ball, go. Because if you go, they're going to have to follow you. And if they don't, you've got players staying on side who are going to wait for that ball to be cut back. And then it's 50-50. You know, if we win it, we get an attempt at goal. If they win it first, it's probably going to come back out to one of our players anyway because they're so deep. And we're going to get another chance at goal. But we just did, you know, we didn't do it. And again, that's down to the coaching and the manager's instructions. So, but like I said, that's another conversation. But I think we gave it our best shot. They were great, and we'll try again next time.
Well, that's the conversation we should have now because look, they gave Southgate the contract until after the Euros, which is in obviously a year and a half. So he's come out, I think, today or yesterday saying that he needs a little bit of time to think about his future, whether he would resign or carry on, or what do you think? Do you think we should give somebody another go?
No.
Or do you think he should carry on?
I think he should carry on to take us through to the Euros. Only with one caveat though, and that is he has now got the team where he wants them in terms of mentality, and as a group of players working with each other, working for each other. That is priceless. That's something we missed for a long time in the England camp. We all know that. It's quite clear and obvious. We've heard it from ex-players, the cliques, you know, the problems. You play for Man United, I'm not going to sit with you. You play for Liverpool, I'm not talking to you, and all that. All that nonsense is gone. Gareth has built up something really unique and special here, in my opinion. All he needs to do, if he's going to take this Euros as his last tournament, he's got to say to himself, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go into this tournament, but I'm going to be so much braver with the team. I'm going to give them more attacking instruction.
That last time?
Well, possibly, yeah, but it's always ifs and buts, Matt, isn't it? You know, it's always maybe, you know, because we could be saying, oh, what was he doing, thinking that he could take the game to France like that and being really attack-minded, and we got slapped 4-0.
But what about this question, putting it into this perspective? It might change your outcome. If I said to you, was this tournament progress or a decline in what we're achieving?
Well, we're trying to, yeah. But again, I think we are still on progress. We're not. I don't think we've declined. We got to a semi-final of the World Cup. We got to a final of the Euros, and we've just got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup in winter time. In the middle of a season, it's so unusual. This has never happened before. There's a lot of things at play here, you know. And if you look at the whole outcome as it stands right now, with all the teams that have gone out of it, you know, and you did a survey with all the players who are now at home and asked them, what was your thoughts on having the World Cup at this time of the year? Was you okay with it, or did you think it was a bit of a problem? I'm more than certain that a majority of them would say, no, I didn't really like it. I think it was a wrong time to play it, and blah 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 for whatever reason. So there is that to take in as well. So for me, I just think Gareth Southgate, he should carry on what he's started right now. There's no point in changing right now, in my opinion, because you know there's what, like you say, 2 years away from the Euros. He knows his squad. He knows the players that he's going to be using. I mean, question marks, I suppose, around some players. Jordan Henderson, for example, maybe even Harry Kane. We don't know. You know, so, but for a majority of the team, it's young.
If Pep Guardiola was the manager, do you think we would have won it?
No, because you know, we could have said the same about Luis Enrique at the start of the tournament. You could have said the same about Tite. Could have said the same about Santos. You know, who else? You could have said the same about Louis van Gaal.
I kind of think they're in the same sort of bracket because, I mean, Luis Enrique hasn't really been anywhere before. He only went to Barcelona for like a year or so. He wasn't there very long. And I think straight into the Spain job. And Spain are in a transition right now, whereas England have gone through.
I think Pep Guardiola should. You know what? He's going to need. He would need, if he was going to go into a national coaching job, a national team, whether it be Spain or anywhere else, he's going to have to do it at the end of a tournament. You know, and so that'd be right now. You know, and have enough. And he wouldn't. And in my opinion, he wouldn't have enough time in the first tournament to actually get the players to do what it is he understand what he wants to do, because you know how intense he is, Guardiola, and we know how intense his methods are at club level, and he's there with them week in, week out, day in, day out. So for him to go into the national team for England, nah, I don't see it as being any different.
I'm not saying him specifically. I'm just using a name of.
I know what you're saying. Putting a name out there.
About Brazil, weren't you? And talking about they need to have somebody else to put them to the next level. I feel the same with England. I think he's reached his height. I think Gareth Southgate is not the manager that will be able to lift the trophy of England. I don't think he can go past that hurdle.
Well,
I think.
All right, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. You look at how far we've come since Southgate has took over, and again, if you take all our games, look at all our games defensively, and then in the attack, and then look at it and go, okay, what needs to be improved here?
How
defensively,
many?
I think we're okay.
But how many teams have we beaten that we're expected to? They're all been beat teams that we're expected to. We've never done anything other.
No, Matt. Listen, when people say to me, expected to beat this and expected to beat that, listen, it doesn't work like that. This is a cup competition, the World Cup.
You're going to win it. You have to beat even the teams that are.
I know what you're saying, but at the same time, you still need that little bit of luck. You still need those decisions to go your way. You know, if you are gonna go all the way, that's just part and parcel of a cup competition. I've said that from day dot, and I stick by that assumption, and it's true because you know it's not like a league, you know, a 38 game season, you know, in a league in whatever country you choose to pick. It's totally different. So there is never any guarantees. Look how close it was for other teams to be not making it through. I mean, for Argentina, for one, who were looking, you know, like we say, maybe one of the favourites right now. You know, they were in a bit of a dodgy place, weren't they? You know, but they turn it around and.
But they haven't. I don't think they've got a team anywhere near what we've got. I think someone can get better from our team than Gareth Southgate. That's just my opinion.
I know what you're saying, and you know what, maybe there is, but at this moment in time, I just think if Gareth Southgate, now, do you know what maybe he may even need to do is actually look at his coaching setup that he's got, or people who he's got around him. They're kind of quite comfortable now with this way of playing, the England way, as we sort of say, as it stands right now. Maybe he needs to sort of go, you know what, if he's going to stay there for the Euros, he may decide, you know what, I need to freshen up my coaching staff and get some coaches in who are going to enable the team to be braver, especially when we are, you know, in possession of the ball and we're actually in the opponent's half, and we're then, you know, that's obviously that's where it all counts. You know, you get your free kicks, you get your corners, and all the rest of it. But when you're actually attacking a team in their own half, that's where you've got to be brave and have a real game plan to target their whatever weaknesses they've got. We didn't seem to do that. Okay, I know people were talking about Upamecano being a bit dodgy for France, but we didn't really. I mean, Harry Kane did once in that moment where he got the better of him, and again we didn't win the free kick. It wasn't a penalty because Harry Kane's foot wasn't even on the line when he made contact with him, so it wasn't a penalty, not by anyone's stretch, but it should have been a free kick. So that was another decision. But no, I think Gareth Southgate deserves the Euros for him to go, you know what, it's my last tournament with being England manager, and let's just hope that he does go and say, you know what, no, I'm going to be braver. I'm going to coach the team in a way, keep what we've got in terms of the defensive side of things. We know that they're quite defensively sound, but in that attack, it's in that attack where we need to be that one step braver. And I think if we do that, we've got a much better opportunity of getting the shouts that go for us. Because if you're braver on the ball, it inevitably leads to more decisions going your way. Because obviously the opponents have to, like the moments when Saka was, he cut in on his right foot and then go across the edge of the box. Bam, they were there bundling him over and he was running in free kicks because he was being brave with the ball. However, if he'd have been doing it the opposite way, towards the goal, not across it, we could have seen a different outcome. And there's the difference. Is, you know, the goal is in front of you, not sideways on. So that's the difference for me with Southgate.
Yeah, you know what? If he says he'll bow out after the Euros, I might be able to let that slide. But I do think it'd be time for a change. I know Anthony agrees with me as well. What do you think, people in the comments? Southgate out or Southgate in? Anthony Herbert says England played well. That pen from Kane, what was that? But he had a poor tournament, in my opinion. Why take off Saka, a best player, and the ref? Do one, do one. Southgate, a man that stays on the touchline and hardly said anything. If you want to win it, get behind the team. Put Harry Kane in the box to score more goals. Big up to Niall Kane. Big ups the main men. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you can, and put in the comments. Do you think Gareth Southgate should be given till after the Euros, just after the Euros, or do you think he should go now and they should have somebody else in? And it's no disrespect to Gareth Southgate because he has done a fantastic job, but a lot of people are 50-50 on whether it's just maybe 6-7 years, maybe freshen things up a bit, because the future of England, if you have forgotten, looks incredible. So don't forget, this is not our time now. I think the next time, the next World Cup, you'll see an amazing England team. Last but not least then, mate, just a quick one to give our score predictions of the games that are happening tomorrow and Wednesday. Semi-final match prediction talk. Croatia versus Argentina. What do you think? Can't hear you talk. You're on mute.
Sorry. I was gabbing away there as well like a lemon. Yeah. Again, we're going to go back to the number 10 for Argentina, Messi, and we've got Modric, their number 10. Battle of the tens, is it? And clearly we know who's the better of the two. In different, Messi's so much of a different player to Modric. Messi's like a one-man band. Modric is a conductor of an orchestra, and so I don't really know. I just think if Croatia do what they do, which is that real steadfast, quality defensive work, but then again, if they create any chances in front of Argentina's goal, they have to take them. Whatever chances they create, they can't be. I don't see them getting that many chances, if I'm honest, on any kind of a counter attack. Or winning the ball in the midfield and then punting it forward and a couple of passes and then a chance is created. If they do not take them, I just fear that Argentina, being as dogged as they are and as good a players that they've got, just going and punishing them, whether it be in the last minute or the first. So I'm going to go for Croatia, though. I'm going to say Croatia to win it 1-0.
1-0. Okay. Wow. Predictions there. All about Morocco versus France then, mate. What's your prediction of this game?
Now then. Yeah, Morocco again. You know what to expect. France know what to expect. France now, I bet Didier Deschamps has been looking at the board, scratching his head, going, oh, okay. Well, all he's got to do is look back at all the games they've played, how they've kept out some really quality players and teams and team play. And, he's going to be scratching both ends and thinking, wow, what do I do here then? And again, I think it's going to be a patient game from France with Morocco. I don't think they're going to try that Kylian Mbappe. They may, in my opinion, they may ask Kylian Mbappe to be the one to get furthest forward, to ask the question of Morocco, to say, okay, then, how brave are you? Are you going to put somebody on me or two people on me? Because if he does that, then obviously Morocco got something to think about. Because if they don't put anybody on him and leave him there, and he's onside and he can receive the ball, bam, Morocco have got a serious problem on their hands. Free kicks, blah, blah, blah. But again, if Morocco keep France out and do what they've done in the previous games, we know they're capable of scoring goals, good goals as well. So I don't know, but I'm going to back Morocco. I'm going to go. Let me just think about this. I'm going to go Morocco to win it in extra time, 1-0 in extra time. For Croatia to beat Argentina in normal time, 1-0. Morocco to beat France 1-0 in extra time.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I'm going to go Croatia to beat Argentina in the 90 minutes, maybe by just one goal. It's going to be quite tight, but I think in the 90 minutes. And I think Morocco to beat France on penalties.
Oh,
I think Morocco to beat France on penalties. So another penalty shootout for Morocco, and they'll win it again to get to the final. I want to see a Croatia-Morocco final. So for some reason, my mind says Argentina France sounds more realistic, but I see an upset or two here. I don't see it going that way. So Croatia versus Morocco final.
The confidence for Morocco right now will be peak, and you know what? When you've got that kind of confidence, again that works against the opposition. So France, for France here, it's all the pressure is on them. They're the current holders. They've got, now they have a point to prove. Beating England, they've beaten everybody else they've played, but now they're faced with this team who have already made history. So they're already flying high as a bird anyway. I like to say, exuding confidence. They are going to be so pumped for this game. It's just a case of what I hope, which I'm sure they will, because their manager looks like he of course he knows what he's doing, but keeps the Moroccan side calm and not too exuberant in the opening sort of 30 minutes with too much energy expelled, etc. They keep the game cool, they keep it nice and easy, nice and don't run around too much and all that kind of nonsense, and manage the game well, then that will also go in their favor. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, you know what? Hope so indeed. We're going to end off then. One more comment, of course, from Anthony. Morocco done really well breaking that record as well, but I think they got as far as they can. But big up to them. Big up to you, Anthony. Thank you so much. Solo's in the house from the Man United Agenda. Big up to you, mate.
Yeah, big up.
Big up, mate. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. Means a lot. I've really enjoyed it. Talk, thank you too for coming in. Big up to Talk MU. See from Solo there. Thank you so much, mate, for coming by.
No worries, bro. No worries.
Where can everyone find you, mate?
Yo, you know where to find me, folks. You know where to find me, of course, at the Man United Agenda. And on my channel, Football versus Cancer. But if you're watching this on playback or you're there right now and you haven't subscribed to Matt, just subscribe onto his channel, because it's a great channel. There's great content with some great shows. And I do believe you're doing one of the watch-alongs, aren't you, Matt? For the semis?
Doing the last one Wednesday, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. kickoff, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So keep your eye on that, folks. I'll be joining Matt for that watch-along, and it's going to be, we'll see how well we predicted the outcome of these two games.
I hope it happens, mate. It'll be a dream, won't it? Are you also doing the watch-along on your channel tomorrow?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, that's the I forgot what game it is now.
Croatia.
Game is it tomorrow? Yeah, Croatia,
Argentina.
So yeah, so get tuned in for that one, folks, because it's going to be. Are you joining me for that, Matt, tomorrow? Or
I'm not about tomorrow, but that's why Wednesday I'm definitely there for that one.
Yeah, sweet. But just tune in anyway, folks. Tune in anyway.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in today too. I found Talk in my fridge last.
Disguised. I was disguised as a piece of broccoli.
He was in your fridge eating what's inside your fridge, which I would have been doing that too. Especially this winter time, you need to, beef up a little bit, because it's cold outside. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Like I said today, we will be back Wednesday for a watch along to the last semi-final between Morocco and France. Yes, so that'll be very, very interesting indeed. Looking forward to it. So come tune in Wednesday about 6:45, 6:50. We'll go live, and I've also got an Introduce Yourself show this Thursday, and we're doing a World Cup final reaction on Sunday. pretty much straight after the final. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, we'll see you then. Take care with that cold outside. Wrap up warm. Bye bye.